My name is Olusegun Adediran. I'm from Nigeria, West Africa. I'm currently a student at the London School of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine, where I study public health for eye care and MSc program. My background, I'm an ophthalmologist, and I've been practicing for about 18 months before coming to London for studies. Well, what really inspired me was that I had some seniors who were alumni of the school, and I had gone through the school prospectus and noticed that this specific course, public health for eye care, it will give me the skills I need for the next phase of my career, which is to be a public health ophthalmologist. So having gone through the school prospectus and noticed that this looks really to be what I need next after completing my residency, then I tried to look at the requirements for application, and then I applied for admission. And after getting the admission, I applied through the school for a scholarship, which I was fortunate to get. But I think one thing that gave me a head start was that I started preparing early. And I started about a year before ahead, going through the prospectus of the Commonwealth Scholarship Commission. That gave me an idea of all the requirements. And so I was able to prepare ahead. For instance, I knew I needed my transcript. And I knew it takes time in Nigeria to get transcripts from my school. So I had to tell them ahead I need my transcript. So that was ready. I knew the timelines when the admission process opens for the university. I knew when scholarship applications would open. And so when I was going to apply, I was able to keep track, and I was able to follow through my application in good time because I started preparing early. So one important thing was, yes, we did almost 4 or 5 essays about different things, starting from my purpose of applying for the scholarship. The key thing about the purpose statement is to be realistic, to be truthful, and also to give a future perspective to the relevance of one's career goals to local and global goals. For instance, the Sustainable Development Goals. In my context, being a healthcare practitioner, my future career plan, I had to prove that it aligns with the Sustainable Development Goals as it pertains to eye health and to the other goals that are related to it. So that's one. And of course, there are also parts of the motivation, the statements that we wrote that had to do with the future plans that one has. As much as possible, one has to be realistic, and that's what I did. I didn't know the other part of it, but I learned there used to be thousands of applications, and it is through those thousands that we came out, as which I'm very grateful for. It wasn't the first time I applied I got a scholarship. I got it the second time. But the first time I learned a lot, so when I was applying the second time, I was able to do it better. I think the skills I'm learning right now, they are going to help me in my career as a public health ophthalmologist to apply those principles to solving eye health problems in Nigeria, and if I'm required to do that on a global stage. I'm learning about a lot more about doing research in eye care now, which I didn't know before. I'm learning about a lot of tools that I can use, which I didn't know before. So I think those will come in handy when I go back to my setting to apply to solving the problem of Nigerians as regards eye health. Then, outside the learning aspect, I've made a lot of friends from being here. I've met people from different nationalities, from Asia to America to Europe. It's a great atmosphere being here in Ish. I remember when I first came and we were invited to a welcome event. The CEO of Ish was saying something in the lines of, "This is your home." And I was wondering to myself, can this really be like home? when I look back now, he knew what he was saying. I've never really missed home because there are always very nice people around. Everybody is friendly and kind, from the staff to the fellow residents. So I've made a lot of friends. We share contacts, we chat, we call. Some of them have traveled, we speak. So I think this friendship will last for a long time, and it can help to build bridges across cultures. We've seen similarities in our cultures when we discuss across different divides. But we're now forming links. So I think that's one other thing that this program has helped to achieve for me, and I guess it's probably the same for many of my friends who are from different countries. Advice I would give is this: the one should try to see how your future goals link to global goals, for instance, because bodies like the Commonwealth, I have seen that they're interested in helping people from developing countries who otherwise wouldn't be able to sponsor themselves, just like me, to get this education and take back home to help our people. So the first thing is to try and see, where do my career goals align with these global goals? And if yes, there's an alignment, then you have to look for courses that are offered by institutions that are supported by the Commonwealth Scholarship Commission, because the Commonwealth Scholarship Commission works together with institutions in the UK. So to know that there's an online prospectus of the Commonwealth Scholarship Commission, reading that prospectus will give information on the institutions that the Commonwealth shares associations with to give the Commonwealth shared scholarship. There's a list of institutions. And then once one finds out the institutions, you can look at the programs available at those institutions and which ones align with your career goals that you can apply for, that are likely to enhance your career chances and improve your ability to impact positively on the development of one's country. So after identifying that institution, then one should go ahead and apply for admission. If you get admission, and after getting the admission, can apply for scholarship. Admission needs to be obtained before applying for scholarship. And if one prepares well ahead, get all the necessary requirements, your transcripts, your undergraduate certificates, your statements. One doesn't necessarily have to write the statements beforehand, but you can make key points. Why should I get the scholarship? You may just write your points in bullets, because I have these strong points, itemize them. And then when it's time to apply, you can put that in a writing, maybe a 500-word essay or 350-word essay, whatever the Commonwealth has to write. So I think if one follows those steps generally, it's easy to complete the application, because completing the application, if one is not well prepared, might be a challenge. So that's why I advise, at least the year before, one should go through all those requirements, so that by the time you are really ready to apply for it, there's no stopping you. Yeah, it's a really emotional one for me. If I didn't get the scholarship, for context, I would have had to save for 6 years. No, that's impossible. I practically had a zero chance of being here, despite the fact that I have what it takes to learn and to go back and apply whatever I learned in my setting. So without this scholarship, it's impossible for people like me to partake of this great opportunity. So I feel really grateful. I can't put it in words how much grateful I am to the Commonwealth Scholarship Commission and to the London School of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine for making it possible for me to be here to study. I'm forever grateful. Yeah.